What is going on, YouTube people? We got a wild one today. It's a 2-video day. Honestly, I could probably put up 3 videos today, maybe even a 4th. This one via Paul Lesko with an assist from Auburn. We have Upper Deck versus Employee Adrian Edward Frosniak. I'm probably pronouncing that last name wrong. We'll just go with Adrian for this. Who stole massive amounts of inventory from Upper Deck directly? If you have been waiting on redemptions from Upper Deck, well, Adrian might have already sold them. This lawsuit is accusing upwards of $500,000 worth of cards that this person stole. He's already been arrested for this. This is a civil case. They have it confirmed of at least 200,000, but it sounds like it could get upwards of $500,000. This person was an associate director of redemptions, it sounds like. Yeah, associate redemptions manager. Associate redemptions manager. Within a week of working there, and I'll link to the Lesko thread so you all can peruse it. Within 1 week of working there, he began stealing cards. Apparently, the security measures were not too fantastic. We see right here. How did he steal these? Simply walked out of Upper Deck's warehouse with the cards on his person because, and it states in here, UD did not have any sort of bag check procedures yet. He also, not only did he just walk out with these, and they did eventually set up a sting, basically security cameras, and saw him on the cameras sliding the cards up his sleeve. He took it one step further and used the computer system to ship redemptions to different people. Yes, it's crazy. This is absolutely crazy how this went on for multiple months. I think it was 3 months that this went on for before they caught him. And the only reason that they caught him is that they got a tip. But he would go into the computer system and change where the cards were getting shipped to. It sounds like he would do a deal basically with somebody. They said the one deal was $60,000 by itself. So how I imagine this going is he agrees to sell the card. He gets paid. He goes into the redemption system and uses the redemption computer system to ship that card to the person that he sold it to. So he didn't have to mess around with shipping. That's fantastic. Like, what an idea. I'll just use Upper Deck's own computer system against them and sell the card, and they're basically my personal eBay. They pack it up, they ship it for me. This is great. In addition to that, it says that he would ship them to unsuspecting people as well and would gain access to the cards somehow. I don't really know how that would work. I don't know if he would ship it to neighbors or something and like pay attention to the tracking number and know when to like go get it out of the box. I have no idea. I don't know how that aspect of it worked. But yes, he used their own computers against them. Shipping cards to others, he sent them to suspecting or unsuspecting customers and then subsequently gain access to the stolen cards. So maybe he sent it to businesses that he had access to, or burner addresses or friends. I don't know. It says unsuspecting, so I don't know. 2 months into his employment is when the tip came, and then it basically took another month for them to do their investigation. And then he was obviously fired and arrested. They have obtained text messages secretly selling Upper Deck product through back channels. So not like on eBay, but selling direct to customers. This is the example where up to $60,000 were set in one sale. Here's where it talks about the video footage of him sleeving them. And by sleeving them, we're not talking about penny sleeves. That's him sticking them in like his coat sleeve or his shirt sleeve and smuggling them out that way. They know of 319 cards valued at 200,000, but Upper Deck emphasizes this is just a partial list, and they believe that this is upwards of 500,000 or more. Holy smokes. How do you not have a bag check? That is just wild to me. Also, like, what sort of internal audits or procedures are being ran to catch the computer manipulation? This one is absolutely wild. I don't have any redemptions out at Upper Deck. I actually had a couple Marvel cards, but they were pretty low end, so they probably didn't flip on the... Actually, they were back to me before this guy was even hired. But and there is a list of cards, it is not in this court documents. So we do not have a public list of cards. It exists, but it is not out there to the public. But if you've been waiting on a UD redemption, probably a high valued one, and it happened from May to August, that's a little scary. That's a little scary. And I guess it also he could have been stealing stuff that's unredeemed as well, depending on what it is. Gotta imagine that's a lot of Connor Bedard stuff from Upper Deck. There could also be some pretty big Marvel redemptions in there as well. Though most Marvel product is live. They don't usually do a ton of redemptions for Marvel product. So I'm guessing most of this is sports related. And given Upper Deck's licensing situations, I'm guessing most of these are hockey related as well. On top of that, that's pure speculation on my part. This is just me looking at Upper Deck's product mix, knowing Marvel does not do a lot of redemptions. They had some original art redemptions and for Marvel Masterpieces and some uncut sheets, so those were hanging around out there. They did some stuff with Marvel Anime, but nothing too crazy that would be that expensive. The only sports license that they have is hockey, really, and some AEW stuff, I believe. They have some other things as well, but I'm just trying to think like what could reach to that value threshold. I don't know if they had any like weird basketball product where like a LeBron or Jordan or some golf thing with Tiger Woods could be hanging out as a redemption in product, but I can't think of one. So like I said, my gut and my thought process is immediately jumps to a bunch of hockey stuff. And like I said, that's speculation on my part. I do not know that for sure, but it makes the most sense. So they're going after this person, obviously, to injunction to stop any continuing sales of inventory and to try to get back what they can. I don't know, how the tip came about or what's going to happen to the people that bought this stuff, because it sounds like since he was arrested, they have all his text messages, all his transactions, so they're going to know where this stuff went to, and that obviously always gets a little dicey on the buying and selling of stolen goods, and who knew what when, and did the person know that they were stolen or not know? Have they already left their hands? It becomes quite messy in a hurry, and 9 times out of 10, it feels like someone that, basically was completely innocent that just ended up with the card as the end user probably had no idea that this stuff was going on. Obviously, there's probably some middlemen in between, but wild stuff, and just an absolute utter lack of controls by Upper Deck in this situation. The fact that you have people moving around high-end cards like this and you are not doing some sort of security checks to make sure that they're not getting in and out of the building is wild to me. And the fact that someone could manipulate the computer system, even a couple of times, we don't know how often that was getting done. We just know that it was happening and wasn't getting checked, is wild. And it sounds like this would have gone on longer if it wasn't for the tip. Like, they didn't necessarily catch this on their own. Someone tipped them off to it, and then they did the digging and found what they needed to find. Maybe they would have eventually got there on their own. You think at some point in time, someone's going to be like, hey man, where's this redemption card at? Especially if it's high value. We all know what that's like to fight with these companies on for redemptions, and now you have something like this happen. Is just absolutely crazy. So it sounds like they've already tightened up their security. I have to imagine a bunch of new procedures and protocols are put in place now that they've gone through this, but scary stuff, man. Scary, scary stuff. So allegedly, 500,000 in cards, or upwards to, and maybe even above 500,000 in redemption cards stolen / rerouted, all of the above, from Upper Deck. I'll update this if we end up getting a list at some point in time as this case advances, but wild, wild times. Be careful out there, folks. There's another story, like I said at the beginning, about I could do a bunch of videos right now about $250,000 to $250,000 worth of high-end baseball cards were stolen out of a FedEx package. We'll probably talk about that in the next day or two. There's another crazy story that we covered earlier in the week that has follow-up to it. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Just this week went from nothing to all of a sudden just a bunch of nonsense and chaos is happening. So all I got. Catch you boys and girls in the next one. Peace.